guys, welcome to the Point Spread here at fantasypoints.com. Whether you're live, which is not common, or you're listening on demand, which is common, it's great to be with y'all here at fantasypoints.com. My name is Joe Dolan. Tom, I am scrambling already. I am so sick of injury reports. Can we engineer perfect people who don't get hurt?
That would be awesome. Or we should just talk to Brock to automate it right into the right into our article.
Oh, I don't need to put more on Brock's table. I already annoy it this time of night. Now, it's good to be with y'all. We got a full slate of NFL games. And, oh, man, Tom, we are – oh, boy. We are – one more week until bye week starts.
Yes, that's I can't wait for it. I can't wait.
Oh, man, losing just 12% of your workload. Oh, it's huge. All right. Well, Tom, let's get into it. Let's go. Let's go game by game, talking spreads, best bets.
Sounds good.
Let's do it. All right. I'm looking at DraftKings Sportsbook, but sometimes I'll look at some shit that I like at my dingy.
Go ahead. Yeah, we'll bounce it off. Yeah, I've just looked at them for the last 3 hours. I usually just spend all Friday afternoon looking through every line on DraftKings. Then I compare it to every other book. So I have all the numbers dancing around in my head here. So
what I gotta do is I gotta make some bets. I gotta finish up updating the injury reports. Can the Baltimore Ravens release their goddamn injury report, by the way? Freaking sick of John Harbaugh. But anyway, I'm
sure it's some intern that has
actually
he's probably tailgating at the Maryland game right now.
Yeah.
Got the release.
Hold on. So. I used to do that.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, I figured John Harbaugh isn't there typing out the okay.
Yeah, no,
so let's see. Lamar Jackson, he had a back injury. Yeah.
I actually used to input the injury report on the Eagles website. I did that in 2008, so I know how it is done. And it's standard for every NFL team. It's NFL policy, but you have to get it from the PR team who gets it from the training staff. So, and Brolley's got anyway, let's go. Washington is a road favorite. 1.5 on the highway, Tom, over under 47.5 at Atlanta. I cashed one on the Falcons last week against the Giants. That was painful. I wouldn't recommend betting on the Falcons. What?
Yeah, the Giants kind of outplayed them in that game, and they did Giants things and didn't convert, and settling for field goals, and but yeah, this is Washington opened up as underdogs actually in this game. I took them. Look out on Mondays. And Monday morning, I'm usually going through the lines, looking at lines that I think are good and they're going to change by the end of the week, and this was one of them that I spotlighted. Grabbed the Washington +1. They flipped. I've been on the football team here twice as best bets in the first 3 weeks, and they're one of the couple 0-3 ATS teams. Haven't lived up to expectations, especially on defense. But
the defense has been the problem.
This has to be a spot where their defensive line finally starts to take over here against the Atlanta Falcons offensive line. I know. Greg was a little harsh on Chase Young, listening to John and Greg there. Said he's freelancing a bit, not playing within the scheme. So, this has to be a get right spot for the Washington defense here. Took the +1 in this game.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously that is now flipped. Tom, you still Washington?
Yeah, I still like them. Anything under a field.
Would you get to the window though with Washington, given the?
Yeah, I still like it. I still think it's an advantage. I like I said at the top there. I thought Atlanta's win was kind of a smoke and mirrors job against the Giants. I thought the Giants kind of outperformed them in that game, and didn't get the win in that game. But also looking prop wise, I took Cordero Patterson. His number. It's 24.5 for receiving yards. I think he has 120 receiving yards over the last 2 weeks. Kind of a featured part of this offense at this point.
You're going to hate me. I think the people listening are going to hate me.
Uh-oh.
Washington gives up the most yards out of the slot.
Yes.
Kyle Pitts plays out of the slot.
Woo! It's
49.5.
Yep, 49.5. We'll see. It's got to happen one of these weeks, right? He's due for a breakout, right?
Yeah.
He's had. I I saw the comments from Arthur Smith after the game, saying, teams are treating him like he's a veteran, like he's an established player. I think, part of that has to do with just how thin they are. This is why I like the Cordero Patterson prop that they don't have a lot of skill play. There's not a lot of options. And I think that's kind of hurting Pitts and Ridley at this point.
Yeah. So that's just one that I'm looking at, and I'm just a little concerned, that Washington can't hold it down there in the slot. So let's see what happens with that. All right, let's go now to Houston and Buffalo. Tom, I have zero interest in this game whatsoever. Buffalo's laying 17, over under a 47. Do you see anything here?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Buffalo side, but I will give Houston credit here. They've been, pretty frisky in all three games.
Frisky, yeah.
Even last week in the Thursday night game, I mean, they had no offensive ability, and the defense kind of kept it close there. Eventually they couldn't sustain enough drives, and Carolina punched in a late score and covered the spread there. But that was fairly competitive for at least 3 quarters in that game. I just don't see how they're going to consistently, this Buffalo Bills defense, I think it's kind of been an underrated unit across the league here in the early going. I've been impressed with their defenses, just about any other defense in the league. So I just don't see how Davis Mills and, company are going to move the ball very effectively, and look like the Bills offense woke up a little bit last week. So they can name their score in this one.
Houston just put 2 defensive starters on the COVID list, Zach Cunningham and Ross Blacklock. So, I mean,
those are 2 of their better ones. It's not like they're loaded with superstars on that defense, but those are definitely 2 of their better defensive players. So, yeah. I think that's the line was bouncing down. I saw some 15.5s. I think I may have even given that out for the ATS poll. But this number has come bouncing back. Not that 15.5 to 17.5 is a huge move, but there's been some upward. This line has been moving upward here.
Yeah. Any props you like in this one?
Oh, we're going to our boy Dawson Knox. His number is 22.5. Doing a little digging for the waiver wire. The article there, his routes run have, gone up every week here. He was at 80% of the routes run last week. He's kind of knocked Gabriel Davis to the bench. They're getting him out in the field a little bit more. And the Texans are giving up 76.3 yards per game to the position. So, going to that well, we'll see if, it's always, a little nerve-wracking taking these secondary receivers, and, when Stephon Diggs and Sanders are going to, Cole Beasley are going to get their share every week. But, it seems like Knox is getting into good graces with Brian Dable. And I think it's a player that they like. They drafted in the 3rd round a couple years ago. So feels like he's kind of a ascending player here a little bit. Not a guy I would be looking at off the waiver wire as well. If you're looking at a little stash there, and hope that he's definitely an ascending player here.
Detroit and Chicago. Chicago's laying 3, over under a 41. I guess Justin Fields is expected to start. Tom, maybe I'm not a sharp, and I will not pretend to be a sharp. I have no fucking clue how you could lay points with the Chicago Bears right now with Justin Fields at quarterback.
Yeah, and I think that's the way a lot of people are looking at this. I grabbed the Lions 3.5, on Monday in the Monday article. So I like what I've seen from the Lions so far this year. They've been very competitive in all the games. They needed some garbage time against the 49ers. Kind of got away from them against the Packers there. Whenever it started to rain a little bit, but they've been in most games and competitive in the 4th quarter. And you're right, Joe. I mean, and we don't know what's going to happen at quarterback here. We got, Justin Fields got removed from the injury report. Andy Dalton was a limited participant in practice all week. And they really haven't let on what they're going to do at the position. So, there's a lot of uncertainty there. So I'm with you, Joe. I can't, we're still getting points with the Lions. Neither of these teams are very very intriguing at this point. But at least the Lions have shown some fight, and I'm definitely leaning that side this game.
Let's go to some props. They don't even have anything for Justin Fields, which I mean is to be expected.
Even the receiver props are pretty thin.